Welcome to the Designer Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Das, and I am a Canadian social worker, business coach, and private practice owner. I love all things systems, strategies, and step-by-step processes, helping therapists and coaches design a private practice that doesn't only provide practice profitability, but also the time freedom that they had initially set out to achieve. In this podcast, we'll discuss everything from private practice startup to passive income to building automated systems so that you spend less time inside of your practice and more time outside of it doing the things that you love. Let's dive in. Today's podcast sponsor is Information Managers. Canadian therapists and coaches, are you struggling to keep up with frequent updates to health privacy laws? Are you worried about incomplete or outdated privacy policies in your practice? Regularly reviewing and updating your privacy management program helps protect your practice and your clients. But where do you start? Well, Jean Eaton, Canadian practical privacy coach with Information Managers, is hosting a practical privacy officer strategies training starting on Thursday, February 27th, 2025, to help you master the essential responsibilities of a privacy officer by implementing privacy policies, educating staff and vendors, safeguarding patient information, and maintaining privacy compliance in your practice. This online live training is perfect for therapists and their privacy officers. Also, as a special bonus for listening to this podcast episode, when you sign up using the coupon code EVASPARE20, you'll receive 20% off regular price. So don't miss out. Sign up today at informationmanagers.ca/PPO to secure your spot. Or you can simply scroll down to the show notes and click on the link. Welcome back to the Designer Practice Podcast, and I'm your host, Kayla Das. In my opinion, there is nothing better than being a business owner. However, as a business owner, it can be a struggle at times to manage it all, especially as you're working in and on your business as a therapist. Because after all, we only have 24 hours in a day. However, what if I told you that you can build the ultimate therapist support system into your practice so that you get more hours in your day? So you're probably thinking, well, Kayla, that's totally impossible. We cannot add more time in the day. However, it's not impossible if you build your practice with a virtual assistant. In today's episode, I'm excited to share my ultimate support system, Kelley Wilson, my virtual assistant, who's going to discuss how to build a therapy practice with a virtual assistant. Hi, Kelley. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad I can share you with the world today.
Hey, Kayla, it's great to be here. So exciting.
Kelley, before we dive into today's episode, please introduce yourself, where you're from, and tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm thrilled to dive into this conversation. My name is Kelley, and I'm the founder of Kiva Collective, where I offer specialized virtual assistant services tailored to the needs of small business owners and those in the therapy and wellness fields. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I'm passionate about creating smooth and effective solutions for professionals, especially therapists, who are looking to streamline their administrative tasks and focus more on client care. A bit more about me. Before launching Kiva Collective, I worked in a Big Four accounting firm where I worked in areas such as admin and an stint of time in marketing and sales. With that background, it showed me the impact of how a well-organized support system can have on an employee. With Kiva Collective, my goal is to provide personalized assistance to help therapists run their practices efficiently, whether it's through managing schedules, client communication, social media, or just being a reliable support in their corner. I love being able to make a positive impact behind the scenes so they can do what they do best.
Fabulous. So Kelley has been my virtual assistant since September of 2024. And honestly, Kelley, you've been nothing less than a gift sent from above. I have to say that you arrived in my life just when I needed you.
It was meant to be. What can I say?
Yeah, it's so interesting. So, I want to share with you guys a little bit of a backstory on how we got connected. So, in August 2024, while I was on vacation, I received an out of the blue email from Kelley, who listened to the podcast and wanted to know if I needed a virtual assistant. Interestingly enough, I've been thinking for quite some time that I need a virtual assistant, but I just hadn't taken the steps to find one. I've had a couple of assistants in the past, but I haven't had one for at least over a year. And as my business is growing, I really need more help. So the funny part of it all is I receive emails all the time from virtual assistants, SEO specialists, marketing professionals, and usually I'm that person who just clicks delete. I'm not someone who usually reaches out to out of the blue emails. But this time there was just something different about you, Kelley. And I was like, okay, I just need to reach out to this person, meet with them, see what they're all about. And I think about it and I think to myself, what was it about you that I actually responded to the email? And I think this is also really important for therapists to know as business owners themselves is how you send out these emails to people matter. And it was really your presence. You wrote an email that made me feel like an individual. It didn't seem like templatey. You incorporated pieces of my business into your email, highlighted the Designer Practice podcast and how you listen to it. And with that, it made me
Mhm,
feel seen.
mhm.
And as a result, I reached out, even though you're probably the first person I've ever reached out to who actually cold emailed me. And it's so important to say that because how you show up in your business matters. And
Mhm.
that's just an example. But in saying that, since I've been working with Kelley, it has been nothing but fabulous work. You've been my right hand woman ever since, and it's been
Mhm.
such a wonderful experience.
Well, I have to admit, Kayla, I was pretty nervous sending you that first email, but I figured if I could help even one business owner, then I had succeeded.
Well, and I think that that's a good point. Like sometimes we're always worried about what is the other person going to think on the other
Mhm.
end? Like, are they going to delete my email? And I mean, maybe I delete emails all the time. But if you can show up and have someone feel seen and not, and I call it an ad-like email. A lot of business owners send ad-like emails, which is very, very obvious that you've sent it to a
Mhm.
hundred people before you sent it to me. And as a result, I'm like, I'm just someone you're trying to sell to, right? Even though in the end of
Mhm.
the day, you're trying to sell to somebody, right? Like
Yeah, you're right.
right. But you want the other person to feel seen. You want the other person to
Yeah.
feel that they matter, that you actually, like in this case, wanted to work with me as an individual, not just get any client. And I think that that's what made you
Mhm.
stand out amongst everyone else is that
Mhm.
you made me feel seen. You made me feel like you wanted to be a part of my business, not just any
Yeah.
business. So now let's actually talk about how having a virtual assistant can help therapy practice owners because I wholeheartedly believe in having help, even though sometimes I'm
Mhm.
like everyone else, like I can do it all myself. But there's going
Yeah.
to be a time in any practice where you need that help to continue to grow, to continue to move forward, even taking vacation. Like there's been times I've taken
Mhm.
vacation and you've done work for me, so my business just
Mhm.
didn't stop. Right. And that's
Exactly.
been amazing. So,
Yeah.
why do therapists need a virtual assistant in their practice?
Yes, so starting out, I really was looking at businesses in a whole, but then as I have a passion for therapy and how my therapist has helped me through my life, I was trying to figure out how can I help, because how I understand it is a therapist can carry a heavy administrative load in addition to their client care responsibilities. And this includes tasks like scheduling, billing, responding to inquiries, marketing their business, and managing paperwork. These tasks are crucial, but they can be very time consuming and drain energy that could be better spent with their clients. And this is where the virtual assistant becomes incredibly valuable. A VA helps a therapist reclaim that time by taking on administrative and operational work. With this support, therapists can focus on what they do best, which is helping their clients while knowing that their day-to-day tasks are handled efficiently in the background. This balance not only improves client care, but can also prevent burnout and increase overall job satisfaction, allowing therapists to enjoy more of what they love about their practice. And so that's where I feel that a virtual assistant can play wonders for their business.
I agree completely because as therapists, we love working with our clients. We love
Mhm,
being with people. And a
mhm.
lot of it is the administrative stuff, right? Like the
Yeah.
financial, the bookkeeping, the sending the
Mhm,
emails, the booking the appointments,
mm,
the Psychology Today profiles, the marketing, like all of those
mhm,
types of things are a part of the business too. Yet it may not be things that we enjoy. Sure, we can
mhm.
do, but it may not be things that we enjoy. But having a virtual assistant can take some of this load off.
Yes.
So I know you kind of touched a little bit on this, but what are some of the
Mhm.
benefits of having a VA or virtual assistant?
Great question. So, therapists are often balancing their heavy workloads between the client sessions, case notes, billing, client outreach, all while maintaining a high standard of care. This administrative workload can be overwhelming and take away from focusing on what they're truly passionate about, which, like you said, is helping people. That's where a virtual assistant truly shines. We provide essential support with tasks like managing appointments, streamlining client intake processes, handling billing and invoicing. By offloading these tasks, therapists can reduce burnout, enhance their client experience, and grow their practice more effectively. A virtual assistant can help reclaim valuable hours each week. They can also reinvest in client care or professional development, truly allowing them to work smarter, not harder.
I love that. That statement is like my motto, right? Working
Yeah.
smarter, not harder, because really we do not have to be doing things hard in our business. If it's hard, it's probably not something that we are energized by. And as a result, if we hire someone or have assistance and building that ultimate support team that we were talking about, therapists can continue to do the things that they love that energize them while still building, growing, and completing the administrative aspects of their business.
Yes, absolutely.
So, are there common barriers or hesitations that you see that prevent therapists from hiring virtual assistants? If so, what are they and how can therapists overcome these hesitations?
Absolutely. Many therapists see the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant, but have some common concerns that can prevent them from taking the plunge. So, here are a few of the most frequent hesitations that I've encountered, along with some ways to address them. So, the first one is concerns about privacy and confidentiality. Many therapists worry about client privacy, especially since client data is so sensitive in this field. To address this, VAs like those at Kiva Collective are trained in HIPAA compliant practices as well as PIPEDA, and they take confidentiality very seriously. I encourage therapists to ask any prospective VA about their data protection policies, client confidentiality training, and knowledge of relevant regulations, which often provides reassurance. The next one that I have encountered is difficulty delegating or letting go of control. Therapists are often used to doing everything themselves, so delegating tasks can feel very challenging. A solution here is to start small, maybe by offloading one task, like scheduling or invoicing, and then gradually increasing as their trust builds. Many therapists find that once they see the benefit, it becomes much easier to delegate additional tasks. The third thing that I have seen is uncertainty about ROI. Some therapists hesitate to make the investment in a VA, unsure if it will pay off. I often suggest tracking time spent on administrative tasks each week. This can illustrate the hours that could be freed up. Those extra hours can then be used for client sessions, professional development, or even their personal wellness, which in the long run translates into both financial and personal returns. The fourth is the fear of a one size fits all solution. Therapists often want support tailored to their specific needs, and they worry that a VA won't understand the unique requirements of a therapy practice. At Kiva Collective, we work to customize our support to each therapist's unique needs, from handling intake forms to managing directory profiles, which allows therapists to get exactly the support that they need, customizing a package directly for them. So, by addressing these concerns and finding a VA who is a good fit, therapists can make a smooth transition and experience the profound benefits of having specialized support. Often, once those initial barriers are addressed, therapists wonder how they managed without it.
Today's podcast episode is sponsored by Jane App. Jane App is an all-in-one practice management software that provides online booking through a secure client portal, as well as administrative scheduling, payment processing, electronic charting, insurance billing, and so much more. But for me, Jane is more than just an electronic health record. It's a software that has something to offer for every practitioner. However you practice, Jane is here to help. I love how easy it is for clients to book into Jane's online booking system. It's quick, simple, and completely online. Even your least tech-savvy clients will be able to use Jane's online booking. Also, if you sign up using my promotional code EVASPARE1MO, that's EVASPARE1MO, you get a 1-month grace period. That's 1 month totally free. To learn more, check out Jane App today. That's JANE.app. Now back to the show. I absolutely agree with those hesitations. And I'm going to touch on a little bit of each one and just some of my comments about it, because I think that you are bang on. When it comes to hiring in our business, there are many reasons, and not every therapist is going to feel the same hesitations with all. But yeah, privacy issues or fear of privacy issues is a huge thing. And it should be, because of course it's something that therapists should be considering when hiring a virtual assistant. But like you said, if the virtual assistant has the capacity, knowledge, and experience, like yourself, working within privacy legislation, that's key. Just the same with all administrative assistants, because sometimes we use both, right? Virtual assistants are people who are more virtual, administrative assistants are in office, but for the most part, they do the same thing, just at a different location. But if you feel comfortable that your virtual assistant has the knowledge in the privacy legislation, that's important.
Yes, that's very important.
And I think, and this is actually probably my hesitation when it comes to virtual assistants in the past, is delegating or giving up control. And like I said before, I've had virtual assistants and all of them have been great. I definitely have no negative experiences. But in saying that, it's do I really want to give up control? Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to? And that is a real thing. But I am going to tell you from experience, all of the listeners out there is going to come a time in your practice, or hopefully there will be, that you absolutely need to get support. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to grow. You're going to be burnt out, and it's going to impact your practice success, because you need help to be able to grow. And I'm going to give an example, Kelley. So everyone here on the podcast knows I love blogging. Even though I do a podcast, I call myself a blogger through and through. I absolutely love it. I enjoy it. I have had a few people do some blogging for me in the past, but for the most part, prior to you, I've done maybe 99% of my blogs. And I will say, giving up control to Kelley to do some of my blogs, knowing that, of course, she isn't the therapist, but she has knowledge in the therapy field, I was like, ooh, do I really want to give this up? It was the best choice I made. And it doesn't mean that when you do have a virtual assistant, that you're just going to use the complete version without doing edits, reviews. As Kelley knows, When she writes blogs for me, I always review it after the fact. I always
Right.
go through it for my own tone, for just making sure that like the facts are accurate. In saying
Hmm.
that, I also provide Kelley with kind of steps, research, or links, or things that I want in that blog as well. So she isn't just writing a blog blind either.
Mm-mm. No,
And
Kayla provided an excellent outline with some source links, and it was so helpful.
yeah. And so those are the things that, yeah, you're still gonna do in your business, but in the end, it takes a lot less time. I would say on average to write a blog for me from like start to finish,
Hmm.
editing, scheduling, all of those things, it probably takes me about 5 hours. Now, I don't always do it in like one sitting, but like
Hmm.
about 5 hours. However, having Kelley help me, I definitely cut it down to two because I
Hmm.
still like to schedule it myself. I still got to do the
Hmm.
editing. I still make sure that you have enough information that you know what needs to go in that blog. But those
Hmm.
extra 3 hours, I can actually make more money because I'm working with clients. I'm focusing on
Hmm.
other aspects of my business. And even if it's not money driven, I can spend some more time with my family, which at the end of the day is why I do what I do anyway.
Yes, exactly.
And I guess this goes back to also the other hesitation of the uncertainty of the ROI. And I
Hmm.
think that a big part of that too for therapists and business owners is that we need to be clear about what we want the virtual assistant to do. If you're not
Hmm.
clear on what you need help with in your business, it's going to be very difficult to see the return on investment because your virtual assistant isn't going to be able to read your mind and be able to focus on some of these things if you don't provide them a roadmap, right? But
Hmm.
when you provide them that clear roadmap, the ROI is phenomenal. It is so
Hmm.
helpful from a monetary perspective as well as just a lifestyle perspective.
Hmm.
So I can certainly speak for that. I love talking about this kind of things. And again, I love sharing you, Kelley, to the world because I'm going to give a spoiler alert. We're definitely going to be sharing how listeners can connect with you because, of course, as you're
Hmm.
helping me, you still have a caseload too. And you have that experience with therapy practices and you want to continue to grow in that field. So I'm super excited. But before we get into kind of what you can provide and your resources, do you have any additional tips or advice for listeners about building a private practice with a virtual assistant?
Yes, there are so many. So I had to narrow it down to my top three. So for therapists looking to build a private practice with a virtual assistant, there are a few tips that can help make partnerships smooth and productive. So the first tip I have is start by identifying your core needs. So as Kayla had mentioned before, assess what tasks are taking up the most of your time and or that feel the most overwhelming even. And this could be your administrative work, billing, social media management, or even handling your client inquiries. Being clear on what you want to delegate will help you find a VA that meet those specific skills to support you in those areas. The second tip I have here is establish clear systems and processes. When you outline your preferred workflow, especially for client onboarding, scheduling, and even communications, tools like shared calendars, secure messaging apps, and task management software can ensure that you and your VA are on the same page. And the third tip that I have is communicate regularly and set expectations. So, a strong VA relies on a clear communication, scheduling regular check ins to discuss any changes in your needs, goals, or your priorities. This makes it easier to stay aligned and ensure your practice is running efficiently and the way that you like it to run. And then actually, I'm going to throw in an extra one here. Embrace flexibility and be open to feedback. So the best partnerships are adaptable. Be open to feedback from your VA on how workflows might be optimized to share any updates or preferences you have as your practice grows. The collaborative approach allows you both to grow and refine the process over time. And it also allows the VA to feel included in your business Working with a VA at Kiva Collective can free up hours each week, giving you more time to focus on clients, growing your practice, and avoiding burnout. Many therapists find that having this support brings a new sense of ease to their business, which positively impacts client care as well.
I absolutely agree. I just think
Mm-hmm.
even since you've joined me and my team, your feedback is so valuable because there's times as business owners, we are so used to the processes, even if they're not effective into our business, but
Mm-hmm.
having that I don't want to say outside lens because, of course, as you hire a VA, they're a part of your business, but someone
Mm-hmm.
who isn't as personally invested into your business as you can see some of the
Mm-hmm.
inefficiencies and be able to provide some of that advice that can help you moving forward long term, even if it's something you've been doing forever. You might have been doing
Mm-hmm.
it forever, but it might have not really have been effective forever.
That's right.
So, Kelley, I know you have a free resource that you'd like to share with listeners. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and how it can help them?
Sure, I'm so excited to share this free resource. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Utilizing a Virtual Assistant in Your Private Practice. And this guide outlines 7 effective ways to bring a virtual assistant into your practice to help streamline your operations, manage client interactions, and even support your growth. The guide is designed to spark ideas you may not have thought of and to give you a clear sense of how a VA can lighten your workload and allow you to focus more on your client care. If you've been feeling overwhelmed or curious about delegation, this guide is a perfect starting point for understanding how a VA could be a game changer in your practice.
Love it. So, to sign up for Kelley's free guide, The Ultimate Guide to Utilizing a Virtual Assistant in Your Therapy Private Practice, check out kayladas.com/Kelley Wilson Guide. Kelley is spelled Kelley. Or you can just simply scroll down to the show notes and click on the link. And I kind of gave this away, but you are accepting new clients into your virtual assistant practice, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I'm currently accepting new clients and specializing in services specifically tailored for therapists and private practice owners.
Amazing. So, what are some of the
Mhm.
services that you can help with if a therapist was interested in working with you?
Yeah, so some of the services are practice operations, social media and marketing support, onboarding and client care, profile management for platforms like Psychology Today. And our goal is to be a support system so therapists can do more of what they love and be confident that their practice runs smoothly in the background. So if any of these services resonates with your needs, I would love to chat with you.
Absolutely. And I just want to vouch that you have been such a amazing addition to my team. And I just hope that the listeners out there decide to work with you
Mhm,
too, because they definitely
mhm,
cannot go wrong working with you. And if some listeners are wondering if you are my virtual assistant, why am I sharing you with the world? The truth is virtual assistants are independent contractors. So as a
mhm. Yeah.
result, you work as work exists. So even though you
Mhm,
work as my virtual assistant, you do only work part-time with me.
mhm,
You have other
mhm,
clients, and of course, you're looking for more clients. So very similar to many therapists, we sometimes work as independent contractors and work as work exists. The
mhm,
same with Kelley. So she does have
mhm,
space to take on additional clients, even though
mhm.
she is still working with me. Uh, okay, so Kelley, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today to discuss how to build a private practice with a virtual assistant.
Thank you for having me, Kayla. I enjoyed our time together today.
Me too. So thank you everyone for tuning in to today's episode, and I hope you join me again soon on the Designer Practice podcast. Until next time, bye for now. Please Please be advised that the podcast advertisements and links in this episode may be affiliate and/or sponsor links where Evaspare Inc. and the Designer Practice Podcast receive compensation for sales or signups made through link clicks. This helps the Designer Practice Podcast continue to provide free and valuable content to you each week. Thank you, and we appreciate your support.